Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to break down the trailer for episode 4, but I want to focus not on the Rick and Michonne stuff because that stuff obviously is something everyone's going to be talking about. And I've also talked about that in the last couple of days. I want to focus more on the CRM aspect to it. I want to focus on the fact that, Rick and Michonne have now escaped. So what's next for the CRM and what are they planning to do about that, right? Because Thorne's going to find out about this. Jadis is going to find out about this. Beale we'll find out about this. And we do see in the trailer for episode 4 that the CRM seems to have found them. I'll talk about what that can mean here. And I also want to get into some, I guess a theory that I have here regarding Thorne and why I think that she could probably die here in the finale by Major General Beale, and why I think it'll be Rick that sort of causes that. So yeah, a lot to talk about here. There's a lot of things I want to get into in this video. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. And also, if you haven't become a member yet of the channel, definitely consider doing so. I do post like a vlog video sort of thing every single month. And yeah, I thank all of you guys and sort of give an update on my life and just things that are going on and whatnot. So that's sort of the start of memberships right now. And yeah, I do want to sort of change that and add some more things as well. So yeah, if you're interested in supporting the channel here, definitely consider joining and becoming a member of the channel. But let's talk about the ratings here for episode 3. So I haven't really talked about the ratings too much. Again, there's not really a point in bringing up the ratings and stuff for like every single episode, every single week, unless there's something that like, if all of a sudden it just jumps up a bunch of viewers, right? But that's actually kind of what happened with episode 3. So it didn't jump up a lot of viewers, but the premiere had like 0.896, I think, of a million, according to like US viewers. And I know it actually was like 3 million or something like that, but I don't remember exactly what the number was, but it was something like that was sort of out there. But from US viewers, I think on the same night or however they calculated, I don't know if it's 3 days or whatever it is, but it seems like episode 3 is now the most viewed episode. And it's very, very interesting that 3 episodes in, this show has maintained viewership. So episode 1 was like 0.896. Episode 2 was 0.88 something. I don't remember what the last number was. Episode 3 is now 0.905. So it went up by like, what is that? I guess whatever that would be. Like it's a small increase, but what I found very, very interesting with it is the fact that this show 3 episodes in is basically maintaining viewership, right? Like it's sort of around that same number there, like there's not a drop off at all. It's picking up a little bit, episode 4, it might increase a little bit more, or maybe it drops a little bit more. I'm not sure, but it seems like it's roughly staying here. And this is just very, very interesting because with the Walking Dead anyways, and I think with all the other spinoffs, I'm not sure about Daryl Dixon and Dead City, but I know that there was a drop off after the premiere. Like they would watch episode 1 and then there was a drop off. People wouldn't watch immediately, right? So it's actually very interesting that with this show, it's like it's sort of gaining viewers a little bit. We'll see where it goes with episode 4, but it's really interesting watching this show and just seeing the overall sort of ratings climb right now. It's very, very small again, but it's not dropping at all. So that's what I find very, very fascinating about this, because I've watched the ratings with The Walking Dead before, and it hasn't really acted like this. And so that just tells me that people really like this show. People want to keep watching this show and they want more. And because we're halfway through, I just think that after the finale, even if that is the end, and like, again, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like we're about to watch the end of Rick and Michonne. Like, we're 3 episodes away for the ending of their story, and we're never going to see them again. It just doesn't feel like that. It feels like we just kind of started with the characters, and like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's the end for Rick and Michonne. So I'm not, yeah, and I think that, I think AMC is going to see that with the ratings. It looks really, really incredible here. But let's talk about the episode 4 trailer here. And I don't want to focus on the Rick and Michonne aspects to it because I've talked about that a lot in the last couple of days. Let's focus on the CRM's look for them, right? So we do see in the trailer that it looks like, there's I think most of the episode will be at nighttime. It's going to take place through the night to that morning. And then I think in the morning is where the CRM are obviously going to arrive. And they are going to be fighting CRM soldiers. So we are going to see that. They're going to be fighting CRM soldiers, probably walkers and all of that. And I think it's going to be them trying to escape, right? They're going to try and get away. But obviously they're going to have to deal with the CRM. And there's only one helicopter, so it looks like it's just one helicopter that finds them. There's not like a bunch of helicopters. So I think that's a good thing. Like, obviously when the CRM arrive, they're probably going to call reinforcements to deal with Rick and Michonne, but I don't think they're going to have to like deal with the reinforcements yet. I mean, maybe they show up at the very end, but I think that they're just going to have to deal with whoever's in the helicopter, and then that's it. They'll get away kind of thing, right? So the CRM, they're on the lookout for them right now, and I think it makes sense too that they're going to be finding them in the morning, because that storm was really crazy, right? Like it was really, really stormy. To go out there and look for them would be really, I don't see the point. It'd be really useless because it just, you can't see anything. If you're in that helicopter, you're not going to see anything at all. And especially if you go on the ground, maybe they did have some people looking on the ground and stuff. But again, it just sort of happened that night. I don't really see a point in, just looking for them at that point. And also that kind of, to me, I feel like says a lot about what, is going on. And I was just thinking about that. Like Rick and Michonne are going to jump out of the helicopter over the water. They're landing in the water, which apparently to some people, at least in the video I made, are saying that it's possible you can survive. And again, I got a lot of people mad at me for just being like upset about that, and I'm just gonna say, like, I think it's fine if I don't like a moment in the show. Like I think it's fine if there's something about a certain moment that is like I find a little silly. It didn't affect the show for me overall. Episode 3 is the best episode of the series so far. It's just that one moment I find really silly. But I did have a lot of people actually saying to me though that it is possible to survive that if they were flying low enough. So if that is true and they were flying low enough, apparently there's like rescue divers and stuff that will do very similar things. If they're like a certain amount of feet away, they'll dive into water. So I guess it depends on that. It really depends on that part of it. And if they are low enough to the water, then I believe it. Then I guess it makes sense. It's not that crazy of an idea. It's not like they just jumped out and landed on the ground, right? So yeah, we'll just have to assume for now that obviously the helicopter was flying low. So, but wherever they landed, I hope that they do sort of run far away from that place. Because if they land in the water and then they get out, sort of thing, out of the lake or wherever they're at, just get onto shore and they go into a building nearby, then that's just like, to me, I'm like, okay, the CRM know exactly where you are. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like once you jump out to get away, you should try and run farther away, at least get a good distance, run an hour or two in a certain direction and then hide in a building there, right? But I don't know if they're gonna do that, and so we'll have to wait and see what happens there, because yeah, I mean, otherwise the CRM are just gonna find you, right? And so what I found very interesting is this shot right here of Pearl, Thorne, and Beale. This is like a behind the scenes photo though. This isn't anything that is gonna happen in the show, but I don't know where this came from. I have no idea at all where this came from. I've been trying to like find who exactly posted this, but I just saw that Leslie Ann Brand posted the photo. But I saw the photo earlier, so I don't know. This is like maybe The Walking Dead posted this, or it came from something like that. I have no idea, but I saw this here from Leslie Ann Brandt, and she posted this and said Terry with a heart, obviously for Terry O'Quinn. And so this here, I don't know if this is from episode 4. It's during the day, obviously, so I think that this is probably them looking for Rick and Michonne, right? This isn't anything that happened in episodes 1, 2, or 3 at all, obviously. So it looks like this is going to be an episode 4 thing, most likely, or 5. Now, in 4, I could see it, being possible if they are looking for Rick and Michonne at this point here, but it's also like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know if they're really going to get into that in episode 4. I feel like this is going to be an episode 5 thing. I mean, maybe it's 4, but I feel like it's probably going to be an episode 5 thing, because again, I think that the episode, like episode 4, I think it's just going to focus on Rick and Michonne the entire time with some CRM stuff at the end. Like, I think the entire time it is just them talking. And I think if you want to set the mood, then yeah, you definitely don't want to cut to other shots of stuff going on at the CRM, right? Like them looking for them, because you're going to feel this sense of urgency while watching the show. I think it'll sort of, it'll hurt the flow of the scene and all of that. And you'll feel like whenever they're together, like, you guys gotta hurry up because like they're on their way kind of thing, right? So I think if they ignore the CRM for like the whole episode basically until the end, then you just have that like downtime with them, and then you can just kind of relax and just be like, all right, as Michonne said, a timeout, right? So I find the shot really interesting, to have Pearl, Thorne, and Beale together. And it made me really think of something here that I actually do think is probably going to happen in the finale. And that is, I think that Beale is going to kill Pearl Thorne after he learns what she tried to do with Rick and Okafor, in terms of trying to fix the CRM from within. It's probably meant, getting rid of Major General Beale, which is something that he's not going to be a fan of, right? So I think that that's where I kind of see this going here, because like this is my whole thing. Is like Beale right now is probably going to want Michonne and Rick. Like, are they just going to order them to basically be killed? No, I think they're going to be like, no, you got to capture them and bring them in. Beale has been very, very interested in Rick, just in general, and now Michonne's on his radar, right? He was also about to promote Rick, and then obviously Rick just like jumped out of the helicopter, or I guess Michonne took him, and now I don't think he's going to be doing that, but I do think Beale is going to want to speak with them. And then I think, he'll probably try to kill them or something like that, but I feel like Beale is going to want Rick alive. I think he's going to order whoever's trying to find them to basically keep them alive and bring them in. And I do think they're going to go in. I do think Rick and Michonne are going to go back to the CRM, and it's really just you know, it's just because, like, do you think Beale and Rick had their last scenes yet? No, I think they're going to have scenes together still. Beale has done nothing as a villain so far, right? Like, he's introduced really cool ideas and told us, the audience, about this and that, and it's really cool, it's fascinating or whatever, but, like, we haven't seen him do anything that's, like, villain-like yet, right? Jadis is way more the villain at this point, so I think Beale is going to want to speak with Rick and Michonne, and I think that, again, I don't think he's going to want Rick and Michonne dead. I think he's going to order Jadis to bring them back, or Pearl Thorne, and I think that will actually happen probably in the finale. I don't think it's going to happen in episode 4 because it looks like in episode 5 Jadis is chasing them down. So I do think that Jadis is going to succeed in all of this and actually bring them back to the CRM, and then I think that's where Beale will question Rick and Michonne a lot, like in the finale, because again, Major General Beale questioned Rick in the very first episode about Okafor and what he was planning to do, right, and what he was trying to do with Rick and Pearl Thorne and stuff, and he just didn't really understand why he was trying to keep them alive. It didn't make a lot of sense to him, right? And I think that Beale, just because of that, has just been always fascinated with Rick. Like, why is he even here? Like, what's so special about him, kind of thing. And so I think because Rick and Michonne escaped, Beale is probably going to tell Rick, tell me what Okafor wanted to do, or Alexandria is gone. Because I do think he's going to learn about Alexandria. I think Jadis is going to tell him everything. It's either going to be Jadis or Pearl Thorne, or maybe it's the note that Jadis left or whatever. I think Beale probably, maybe he already knows about Alexandria, right? And it's something that Jadis doesn't even have to say at all, right? But he doesn't know what Okafor was trying to do, right? And he asked Rick in episode 1, but Rick said whatever, and he was just like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, like he knew he wasn't getting it out of Rick. But I think in a moment like this, where he knows of Alexandria and he tells Rick, tell me what Okafor wanted, or Alexandria is gone. Then I think Rick is going to refuse to say anything. One, because he's going to know that maybe that endangers him and maybe Pearl Thorne. But also, you know, he can't really just allow Alexandria to be gone, right? And so I think that he'll be forced to say what Okafor wanted to do. I think Beale's going to be upset about it and then kill Pearl Thorne, right? It'll be a really shocking moment. Rick will be just, you know, he'll be shocked and not know what to do. And then I still think Beale's probably going to go through with getting rid of Alexandria. And then I think that could be the ending right there. So Rick and Michonne are trapped, and now Alexandria is gone and Pearl Thorne's gone, right? And, you know, to me, killing off Pearl Thorne in season 1, I think is totally fine because she's a really great character. But I can see this being a really great arc for her overall, right? Like, I think that, you know, her story is going to be more that she did sort of focus more on, you know, what she was doing there. And she didn't realize that she had Rick, you know, with her, you know, the entire time. And I feel like if Pearl Thorne helped out a little bit more, that maybe Rick would have sided with her more, though I don't even want to make that argument as well, because obviously Rick, you know, if you have to choose like Pearl Thorne or Alexandria, which in Rick's mind, you know, his kids live there, his entire family lives there, like it's a really difficult decision to make, obviously, and it's a horrible decision to make, but I could see Beale basically saying that, and so obviously he's going to be forced, I think. Like, I think that conversation in episode 1 between Rick and Beale is going to come back up in the finale, and he's going to be forced to say, you know, something about Okafor and what was happening there. And then I think that's going to result in Pearl Thorne's death. And then again, like for Beale, I feel like he's going to be like, yeah, I want to punish Rick, Michonne, and Pearl Thorne. So how do I do that? You know, and then I think if he finds out that Pearl Thorne lied about Okafor, lied about all of that, rose in ranks to this place, you know, I feel like he's not going to trust her. And he's going to be like, okay, you're just trying to do what Okafor was trying to do. You lied to me about this and that. And now you're in this position here, you're gone, kind of thing, right? And then in terms of for Rick and Michonne, getting rid of Alexandria, I think could be punishment as well. And then I don't know what will happen to them. You know, I don't think he's just going to kill them, obviously. So I think that could be where this is going overall. And then, I mean, I don't know for the overall story. I don't know how you end the season. Maybe that's how you end it. But I still think just in terms of, you know, just focusing on Pearl Thorne, I think that she's probably going to die here. And I think this is all connected here. Pearl Thorne, Rick and Michonne escaping, you know, being brought back in, and then Beale now talking with them. I think it's going to result overall in her death. And I think that all the stuff with Alexandria is going to come up. And again, because they're mentioning a lot of stuff, like they're constantly bringing up the fact that if something happens to us and we escape, they're going to get rid of Alexandria. And so how do you make all this more interesting, right? Like, how do you make all of this way more just interesting for the viewers and all of that, and for your audience? Well, maybe you make it so that Beale already knows about Alexandria, so that's a little bit of a twist. And you didn't even get away now, and Alexandria's gone, right? And I think that could be a really awesome twist here if they want to go for more of an ending like that, unless this is the end of Rick and Michonne and we're about to see them get captured in episode 5, and then basically in the finale, I guess they kill Major General Beale, fix the CRM, and everyone's reunited. Again, I just don't see that happening that fast, but I also wanted to mention one quick thing here, and that was the Pearl Thorne sort of Shane moment. I just wanted to mention this because I thought that it was a really, really cool moment. I was going to mention it in my review, but it was something that I thought about the second that it happened. It was just the way she was sort of holding the gun at Michonne. It was just like she was thinking about it, and it reminded me immediately of when Shane did that to Rick. Like Shane was thinking about killing Rick, and then all of a sudden he looks and he sees Dale. And I still want to do a Dale video. I really do. Like I just want to do a Dale and Shane video. Just talking about those characters in season 2, because like it is really hilarious when you're watching the scenes in season 2. It's just like, it is really hilarious. Like honestly, you can watch Shane and Dale and just all those scenes like forever and ever. It's like, it's so entertaining. Shane in general is just such an entertaining character because he's just mad at everything, and everything is so tense all the time. And I love season 2 so much. I know a lot of people don't like season 2, or they didn't like season 2 back in the day because it was just like so boring. They're just on a farm the entire time. But like, I don't know, I liked it. I always liked just like Rick and Shane fighting, and just like, how everything got so dark by the end. Like it was just a good season, I think, in general. But anyways, definitely post your thoughts down below. Post your predictions for episode 4 on what you think the CRM are going to do now. And do you think Pearl Thorne's going to die in the finale? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.